Yeah, draft day, Johnny Manziel, 5 years later.
With the first pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to Keith's Hot Takes. I know it's been a while since I've been on. So on today's show, I'm going to recap all the big offseason trades, signings, and all that. And then I'm going to recap the NFL draft. It was an epic NFL draft. Going to talk about some history that was made in the NFL draft, whether it was all the trades that were being made, all the quarterbacks that were selected in the top five. We're going to get into all that. So first, let's start out by recapping the biggest NFL offseason moves. Probably the biggest one right out the gate was Jalen Ramsey to the Miami Dolphins. Jalen Ramsey was acquired in a trade for a third round pick in this year's draft, and tight end Hunter Long. So you could tell how bad the Rams want to get rid of Jalen Ramsey, considering they traded just only a third round pick in this year's draft, and a tight end Hunter Long, who I had never heard of before. Jalen Ramsey is an elite corner. Um, I'm not really sure why the Rams were so quick to get rid of him. But this definitely makes Miami a threat in the AFC, considering all the elite offenses that you have in the AFC, all the elite quarterbacks in the AFC. Getting an elite corner to pair on the other side of Xavier Howard, I think that's going to be very fun to watch. Miami has probably one of the fastest offenses in the league, and now you have a defense that's going to be elite under Vic Fangio. You got Bradley Chubb up front, and then you got Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard in the back end to lock stuff down. As we're going to talk about in a second, Aaron Rodgers is now on the Jets, so you're going to have to deal with Aaron Rodgers twice a year, Josh Allen twice a year, and so you need some elite corners because you're dealing with some elite quarterbacks in this division, and you got some quarterbacks that can put up points. So this defense, they can put a lot of pressure on you up front, and then in the back end, they got two lockdown corners. So I'm excited to see what Miami can do. It's all about, can Tua stay healthy? Can he avoid any more concussions? Because I am really concerned about Tua and all these concussions. I think that's going to be the biggest determining factor into how good Miami is this upcoming season. How long can Tua stay healthy? But obviously, I love this move, being aggressive, going out and getting an elite corner in Jalen Ramsey. So hats off to Miami for doing that. Next, now let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys, who acquired Stephon Gilmore from the Colts in exchange for a 2023 fifth-round pick. I love this move out the Cowboys. You get a veteran corner who can obviously bring a lot of experience to your cornerback room. Stephon Gilmore is still an elite corner. He's probably not like he was when he was in his prime, but I feel like he can teach Trayvon Diggs a lot. Maybe help him not gamble as much, because that's something Trayvon Diggs does a lot, and it doesn't always go well for him when he gambles. So maybe Stephon Gilmore can help Trayvon Diggs eliminate all the gambling and help him sharpen up his technique and all that. So I really love this move by the Cowboys, going out and getting an elite corner like Stephon Gilmore, and I'm excited to see with Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence on the front end. I'm excited to see if this Cowboys defense can be even better than they were last year. We shall see. Next, probably one of our biggest offseason moves that seemed like it took forever for the two teams to agree on the details of this trade, because they were just going back and forth for it seemed like forever. So Aaron Rodgers was traded to the New York Jets. He was traded for, basically they swapped first round picks with the Packers, and then they got a fifth round pick in this year's draft. The Packers got a first round pick in this year's draft. Like I said, they swapped draft picks. They got a second-round pick in this year's draft, and then they got a sixth-round pick in this year's draft. And they'll have a conditional second-round pick. It will become a first if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps. So I think it's pretty safe to say that that second round pick is going to become a first round pick. I feel like they should have upped it to 80 or something. Made it a little more harder for the Packers to. I mean the Packers to receive this second round pick. Because if you look at it, playing 65% of the games, I would say that's about 11 games Aaron Rodgers is going to play, and I'm for sure, knock on wood, Aaron Rodgers is going to play in at least 11 games this year. And I'm excited to see what this Jets team can do because I feel like they were just a quarterback away. If you look at some of their losses, probably the one that comes to mind off the top of my head is when they lost to the Patriots 10-3. Um, you know, I feel like that was the biggest reason why the Jets didn't make the playoffs last year because they didn't have a quarterback who could get the ball to all their elite weapons. Garrett Wilson is legit. They added Randall Cobb and Alan Lazar from the Packers via free agency. So I'm excited to see what this Jets team can do. Aaron Rodgers is going to have a lot of pressure on him to deliver. The Jets, they gave up a lot of draft picks and they're going to be paying him a lot of money. So Aaron Rodgers has to deliver. Now it's going to be very hard for him to win a Super Bowl in the AFC when you have Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson. We just have so many elite quarterbacks. Justin Herbert, can't leave him out. Trevor Lawrence, I could go on and on and on. Almost every quarterback in the AFC is elite. So the AFC is the gauntlet. It's gonna be tough for the Jets to make any type of noise, but they have a two-time MVP. The Jets haven't had a MVP since Joe Namath. So that was back in 1969. So uh, I'm excited to see what Aaron Rodgers can bring to the New York Jets, and I think they're going to probably be on TV a lot this year now that they have a quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. Next, let's talk about Jalen Hurts. He signed a 5-year, $255 million contract extension. 179 million of that is guaranteed. Um, Happy for Jalen Hurts. He deserves his money. I'm glad they went ahead and paid him before Joe Burrow gets his money, and Justin Herbert gets his money. But Jalen Hurts, he deserves his money. He's proven that he can grow as a quarterback. He can get better and better. So I'm just really happy for Jalen Hurts, and I'm excited to see what this Eagles team can do now. They added DeAndre Swift. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. They added him via trade during the draft. So this Eagles team look like they're trying to run it back. They got a little younger on defense. So this Eagles team, they're gonna be scary next year. Um, Leading them to the Super Bowl. He didn't finish it off, but um, the Eagles are looking like the favorites to come out of the NFC right now with everything that they've done so far this offseason. So hats off to Jalen Hurts. Can't wait to see what he does as a follow up to that epic Super Bowl run that he had last year. Lamar Jackson re-signed with the Baltimore Ravens. His contract is 5 years, 260 million, and 185 million of that is guaranteed. So Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens put out a video to make this announcement. So let's go ahead and check that out. And then when I come back, I'll give my thoughts on Lamar re-signing with the Ravens. So let's check it out.
For the last few months, there's been a lot of he say, she say, a lot of nail biting, a lot of head scratching going on. But for the next 5 years, it's a lot of flock going on. Let's go, baby. Let's go, man. Can't wait to get there. Can't wait to be there. Can't wait to light up M&T for the next 5 years, man. Let's get it.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. So that was just awesome. I'm glad they figured this thing out because Lamar Jackson is a franchise quarterback. He deserves his money. As we look here, he's 45-16 as the starting quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens. He's done a lot of winning. And you don't find a franchise quarterback often. So when you find one, you got to pay him. I know you have some concerns with his health because of the way Lamar, his style of play. You have concerns about him being able to play a full season. He's missed games the last 2 seasons. But if you look at it, I stated his record. Quarterbacks other than Lamar Jackson are 8-13. So it's a huge drop off when Lamar is not in there at quarterback. And the Ravens, they got him Odell Beckham, who is he signed on a 1 year deal for 18 million, and he will make at least 15 million. The other 3 million is different incentives that he can earn up to that 18 million. And then they drafted Zay Flowers, who was an explosive receiver out of Boston College. He's just the type of receiver you want to get him the ball and let him work. I'm really excited for Lamar because if we look, they were showing it during the draft. Since he's became the Ravens quarterback, his receivers are last in all the categories because we know the Ravens were a very run-heavy team under Greg Roman. Now they've switched to Todd Monken, who used to be the Georgia's coordinator. So that lets me know that they're going to be airing it out a little more. They're not going to be so ground and pound, run heavy. Um, and I'm just really excited for Lamar. He's got two weapons to go along with Beekman and his other receivers that they drafted last year. You got Mark Andrews, of course. So I'm excited to see what Lamar can do. And I think they're going to be the favorite in that division. I know Deshaun is coming back. He'll have a full offseason under his belt. He'll probably look a lot different than he did last year when he hadn't played for almost 2 years. So this division is going to be fun. You got Baltimore, you got Cincinnati, you got Cleveland, and you got Pittsburgh. So all these teams in this division have young quarterbacks. They have some young, exciting pieces on all their offenses. So this division is going to be a battle, and I can't wait to see how the AFC North plays out. All right, so let's move on to segment 2, and let's talk about who had the best NFL drafts. All right, so before we get into talking about who had the best NFL draft and all that, who had the best NFL drafts, I should say, um, for the first time in NFL history, 3 black quarterbacks were drafted in the top 4. You love to see that. Of course, we know Bryce Young went number 1 to the Panthers. Number 2, C.J. Stroud went to the Texans, and then number 4, uh, Anthony Richardson went to the Indianapolis Colts. Also, it was the first time in the common draft that 4 straight receivers were drafted. All right, so we started out round 1, pick 20, Jackson Smith and Jigba to Seattle. I love that move for Seattle. I don't know if I did. Okay, so I'll talk about it more in depth in a minute. But I really love this pick for Seattle, getting a third receiver outside of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Um, they needed somebody else because teams will go into a game trying to take away those 2 receivers. Gino needs a reliable third receiver that he can count on, that he can throw the ball to. Jackson Smith and Jigba is that receiver. I'll talk more about that in a second. We're getting to talk about the teams who had the best drafts. Quentin Johnson from TCU, he's a speed threat. I love this move for the Chargers because Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, they're 2 best receivers. The last couple years, they've missed a lot of time. So you need a receiver that you can have out there who can be dynamic, make plays for your young quarterback and Justin Herbert. So I love that move by the Chargers. Now I think they should have went. I don't know if I would have took him over the guys who went after him, and Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison. But the Chargers, they had their guy that they liked, and they took him. So I mean, Quentin Johnson, he's the troop. He's a speed demon, and he's going to make some very explosive plays for the Chargers and Justin Herbert. Uh, round 1, pick 22, Zay Flowers, like I said, he went to the Ravens. Like I said earlier, he's an explosive receiver. He's very dynamic once he gets the ball in his hands. He's very hard to bring to the ground. He's going to help Lamar put up some crazy numbers in Baltimore. And then the last one of the four wide receivers that get drafted, Jordan Addison. He went to the Minnesota Vikings. Him and Justin Jefferson, that's going to be unfair. Jordan Addison, he's an electric receiver. Same way as these other receivers, you get the ball in his hand. He's so dynamic after the catch. He's going to put the moves on people. And Justin Jefferson, he's got an electric uh, partner in Minnesota. Kirk Cousins is going to put up some numbers with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. So now that we got all that out the way, first I thought the Texans, who have been a league worst 11, 38, and 1 over the past 3 seasons, they have their third head coach in 3 years, and D'Amico Ryans. Hopefully, they give him a chance. They didn't give Lovie Smith a chance to build anything in Houston, and they didn't give David Culley a chance to build anything in Houston. And when you have Davis Mills as your quarterback and outside of Brandon Cooks, you really don't have any type of talent on this Houston Texans team. I don't know what management expected David Culley and Lovie Smith to do. Davis Mills is not the answer at quarterback, and David Culley and Lovie Smith had to deal with that as coaches. They didn't get a chance to establish themselves, and they were fired after 1 season. So D'Amico Ryan, he's their new coach for the San Francisco 49ers. He was a defensive coordinator. Hopefully, they give him a chance to develop this team. So the first pick that I liked was them drafting C.J. Stroud. You need a quarterback. If you're a coach in this league, you want to be successful, you need a quarterback. So they got that. Then they traded with Arizona to get the number 3 pick, and they drafted Will Anderson, defensive end out of Alabama, who's just a stud at defensive end. If you know D'Amico Ryan and the way they got after people in San Francisco, this pick should not surprise you at all because you got your quarterback, your franchise quarterback. Now you need somebody on defense who can get after the quarterback when you're in close games late in the fourth quarter. It's winning time. You need a defensive end that can go get the quarterback that can close the show. So I love that pick. And then in the third round, they drafted Tank Dell from Houston, who's just his route running is just special. It's like he got magic. He does magic with his feet. It's special. He's a speed demon, and he's going to help C.J. Stroud a lot. Um, C.J. Stroud is going to put up some numbers in Houston. It's going to be fun to watch this team. I don't know if they'll be contending for the division this year, but they're going to be fun to watch. They're going to be much improved on defense with Will Anderson. So we shall see what D'Amico Ryan and this Texans team can do in year one under his tenure. Uh, this next one hurts me. It pains me to talk about this, but the Eagles just crushed the NFL draft. Uh, they had 2 picks in the first round due to the trade with the Saints last year. With their first pick in the first round, they drafted Jalen Carter, who I'm pretty sure if he didn't have all these off the field issues, the Bears would have never traded their number 1 draft pick to the Carolina Panthers for DJ Moore, and they probably would have took Jalen Carter number 1 because they have a big hole at defensive tackle, and they could have used Jalen Carter. And then at the end of the first round, the Eagles selected Nolan Smith with the 30th pick in the first round. He's a very fast edge rusher. You pair him with Hassan Reddick. I love this move because Fletcher Cox is getting old. Brandon Graham is getting up there in age. So you get some young studs who can fly and get after the quarterback with Hassan Reddick. And then on Saturday, they traded for DeAndre Swift, and the Lions. It was in exchange for a 4th-round pick in 2025, and they swapped 7th-round picks in this year's draft. At first, when the Lions had selected Jahmyr Gibbs, I was puzzled because they had already signed David Montgomery, and they had DeAndre Swift on the roster at the time. So I was like, what are they going to have, a 3-headed monster at running back? Or are they going to be really run-heavy? So I was really confused at what they were going to be doing. And then 2 days later, they trade DeAndre Swift. So that makes sense because David Montgomery is a really a type of back who can be a workhorse. You can give him a majority of the work in the backfield, and he can handle it. So we shall see. But getting Jahmyr Gibbs, I expect him to play like an Alvin Kamara role because he's the type of running back you want to get the ball to, not only hand it off to him, but he can run the route tree. He's very explosive. So I love this move for not only the Eagles who added DeAndre Swift, he's like an Alvin Kamara. You can give it to him. He can hand it off to him, and he's a good receiver. So I love this move. So we have to see how it works out for both teams. But I love the Eagles adding DeAndre Swift and the Lions adding Jahmyr Gibbs. I think both offenses will be very explosive. Seattle, they drafted Devin Witherspoon with the fifth pick. I know some people thought that was high, but maybe they're trying to get a young Legion of Boom in Seattle. Devin Witherspoon, he's a shutdown corner. And then with the 20th pick in the first round, like I stated, Jackson Smith and Jigba, he was one of the best uh, receivers in college football during his junior year, and then his hamstrings just kept nagging on him, and they kept bothering him, and he wasn't able to be on the field much last year. And I think he just shut it down because he didn't want to, like damage, do anything that was going to hurt him getting drafted. So Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's going to put up numbers in this offense, and Gino's going to have a guy for when teams double DK and when they double Tyler Lockett, he can go to Jackson Smith and Jigba, and he won't miss a beat. So I love that move. Um, and I think Seattle, I think they're gonna be a dark horse for a playoff spot. Um, I like the Panthers. I like their draft. They drafted Bryce Young. You got to get your franchise quarterback because the Panthers, uh, they've had seven or so quarterbacks since 2019. It's been a merry-go-round the quarterback for them. And then you get him a receiver in the second round, Jonathan Mingo, from Ole Miss, he's explosive. He's very physical. When he gets the ball, he turns into a running back. He's not going to go down easily. So you got to get your young receiver. You got to get your young quarterback a deep threat, somebody who can make explosive plays. Also, during free agency, they added Hayden Hurst. So Bryce Young, I'm excited to see what he can do for the Carolina Panthers. I think the Panthers are going to be very scary. I think they're going to win their division because their division is very lacking when it comes to quality right now. It's a very down division. I think it's going to be very open. And I think the Panthers have the best quarterback right now in that division. So look out for the Panthers. I'm excited for us to have a good football team here in North Carolina again. So yes. All right. Lastly, I want to talk about my Cowboys draft. So in the first round, we drafted Mozzie Smith, defensive tackle out of Michigan. He's very physical. He's very powerful, very strong. We needed a run stopper. That's what Mozzie Smith is going to do. He's going to blow stuff up for us. It's going to be very hard for teams to move him off the ball. So he's going to clog up the holes, and he's going to make Micah's job easier because they're not going to be able to double Micah. They're going to have two guys at all times on Mozzie Smith just because of how big he is. Luke Schoonmaker, the tight end we drafted out of Michigan. At first, I was very upset when we passed on Darryl Washington. But after watching some tape and seeing how the Cowboy beat writers and stuff broke down what Luke Schoonmaker does, he's a better blocker than Washington. I feel like the way he works the middle of the field, he gets open, he gets into space. I think he's going to put up some numbers in our offense. I'm very excited to see what he can do for offense. Obviously, I wanted us to draft Dalton Kincaid. Buffalo snatched him. And Buffalo's offense becomes even harder to stop now that they added Dalton Kincaid. That's going to be ridiculous. Buffalo jumped in front of us one spot to draft Dalton Kincaid. I thought we were going to draft Michael Myers out of Notre Dame, but we didn't. We went with a more glaring need at the defensive tackle position, so I can't be mad at that. Michael Mayer, excuse me. Um, he went to the Raiders, who lost Darren Waller. So I love that move for them. And in the sixth round, a feel good story. Why don't we check it out, guys? Um, Deuce Vaughn, running back from Kansas State. His dad, Chris Vaughn, works for the Cowboys. He's an assistant director of college scouting, and he got to draft his son. So check it out. Um, Chris Vaughn making the call to his son. This is just such an awesome feel good story.
Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
Hey, it's going good. This is Dad. My phone wasn't working. Look here, man. You want to come to work with me next week?
I wouldn't mind that.
I got somebody want to speak to you. I got somebody want to speak to you.
Listen, I don't know when I've been speaking for everybody that's really in the heart of the Dallas Cowboys is standing here with a tear in our eye. We're so happy to have you on the Dallas Cowboys.
I can't thank you enough.
Well, what I really want to say, you earned every ounce of me being able to make this call. I'm so excited. There's just something magical about this moment that may be bigger than we even realize here talking to you on the phone. But you is now a Dallas Cowboy. Your daddy just handed the card in. Right here.
Yes, sir.
It's got him on it. Congratulations.
Hey, Deuce, Mike McCarthy, congratulations.
What's up, Coach? I appreciate it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been doing this a long time. This is so special for you and your father and your family. And if you could make sure you drive, so make sure your dad's on time for work, we'd appreciate it.
I can do that.
Okay.
I can do that.
Deuce, man, congratulations. One of the coolest things I've ever seen in football was your dad making that call.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
So proud of you and your family. That is.
Thank you. He won't let you down. I promise you that.
So yeah, man, you could just see the emotion and just see how grateful Chris Vaughn was that the Cowboys selected his son. Deuce Vaughn, he's only 5'5", but he's electric. He's dynamic. I was telling my dad, I was like, if you make the wrong angle on Deuce Vaughn, he's gonna hit his head on the goalpost. Not only can he run it, he's very small, so he can get in between the tackles and you don't see him. And he can also catch it out the backfield. Deuce Vaughn is the type of running back that you just want to get the ball in his hands, and you just want to let him work, honestly. So I love Mozzie Smith, Luke Schoonmaker, Overshown, the linebacker we got from Texas. He's a hard hitter. I'm excited to see if he can contribute to our defense. Overall, I liked our draft. I feel like we could have did better on day 3. Because besides Deuce Vaughn, I really didn't like our day 3 picks. Akeem Richards, we drafted him out of North Carolina. Offensive tackle, North Carolina did not have a good offensive line, so I was really puzzled by this pick. So I really didn't love our day 3 picks outside of Deuce Vaughn. But our first 3 picks, and Mozzie Smith, Luke Schoonmaker, and Overshown, the inside linebacker we got from Texas, who's just a hard hitter. He will lay the wood on you. He will come in, he will fill the hole, and he will knock your chin strap loose. So I'm excited about those 3. And Deuce Vaughn, he's going to be a great explosive piece. To me, he's a smaller Tony Pollard. I'm excited to see the magic that they can cook up in our backfield with CeeDee Lamb. We got Brandon Cook. We got Jalen Tolbert. I'm excited to see if he can contribute a little more this year. We got Ferguson, Peyton Hendershot. So I'm just excited to see what this Cowboys offense looks like this year. And just need Dak Prescott not to throw the ball to the other team, make better reads, not force the ball. I'm excited to see what Mike McCarthy's offense looks like for this Dallas Cowboys offense. So I'm looking forward to this upcoming season. Alrighty, guys. So that does it for today's NFL Draft Recap Show. I want to go ahead and make a few announcements real quick. So some upcoming podcasts that you guys can sort of look forward to. So Vonnie was he was an assistant coach during the Ram Alumni Weekend. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to recap season 2 of Bel Air. Then I'm going to have my guy, Stefan. He's going to come on, and we're going to recap the All-American season. And then at the end of the month, I'm going to do an NBA Finals preview show. So those 3 podcasts, you guys can start to look forward to those. And I can't wait to bring them to you guys. You guys take care, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.